Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Slack Overflow Show. Let's go. It's 2023, folks, and you know what that means. I don't know, we bought a new calendar. No, it means that things are changing once again as the new year tries to outdo the old year. We saw it with 2021, saying 2020 ain't shit. We saw it with 2022 going, hold my beer. And now we're on with 2023 and an economic downturn, a slowdown in the global economy. Is this really happening? Do I have something in my teeth? Well, last week there was a lot of conversation in the Bureau Slack around BizDev. People are seeing things slow down. Their pipelines aren't moving as fast as they were. Good leads aren't coming in. And oddly, for the first time that I remember, and look at the white in this beard, I've been doing this a while, retainers. Retainers are canceling and retainers are not renewing. So we ended up having a call on Friday called the WTAF is going on. If you don't know, that means what the actual is going on. And here's some of what we found out. Now, 28 shops participated on this call. And the first thing we were trying to figure out is if there's going to be a recession, how long is it going to last? And the answer is we don't know. Shocker! Some people say it could be 1 to 2 years. These people are economists. Now, what are they looking at when they say a recession? Does it involve the gas pump? Does it involve, spending on a consumer level? Does it really relate to us? I don't know. Others within our community think, maybe 6 months. But I'm of the camp that this may be in our heads. That we may be thinking there's something big coming up, but the reality is clients have gotten nervous and they've slowed down. People have really lost work. I'm not saying that they haven't, but clients are going to wake up and realize we have to stay in business. And when they have to stay in business, they have to hire us because we're the ones who make the things that go online. Hopefully, we're already seeing this. I've had calls with a few people recently and gotten messages from folks that say a big project came through. Something they didn't think was going to happen happened, or they're getting better leads now. So it could be this is already starting to happen, but it could also be that it's all going to fall apart. So let's keep going. So what are people experiencing? Now, like I said, we had 28 shops, so these percentages are based on that. 75% of these shops saw a drop in leads, a slowdown in their pipeline, or retainer cancellations in the fourth quarter of 2022. 44% said that their time to close on a lead had increased. 44% also said that it was the same. Things are taking the same amount of time to close, and 12% just don't know. I don't know how long it takes stuff to close. Is it closing faster? I don't know. So that's where we are with that. 56% said their close rate has dropped. They are not closing the same amount of business that they were. 19% say it's the same, and 25% don't know. They don't know what their close rate is. Hey, I would have been that owner who didn't know, just so if you're wondering. Okay. Partner referrals are increasing for some. So this idea of working with others who are going to bring you these leads and it's going to work, that seems to be picking up a little bit. And as I mentioned earlier, a few shops are already seeing the tide turn a little bit. Fourth quarter was really hard. January, we're just getting into the year. And it seems like it may be thawing out a little bit. People may be ready to get back to work. Now, one question that came out of this is this a correction? Because as you know, starting in late 2020, salaries just started going up. Now, a lot of this is because of the bigs, Google and Apple and Microsoft, who just laid off 10,000 people. Well done, fellas. They started paying more. So we started paying more because we had to. We had to have talent to be able to do the work. One thing that's interesting about this is a few of the attendees of this call went to an economic presentation that said it was part of that correction. Nobody feels salaries are going to come down dramatically, and most of us have raised our rates to accommodate the new salaries, which is leading some clients to hire internally. There are big layoffs, like I mentioned with Microsoft, in the tech sector. That means the labor market is going to get bloated, and as a result, could help with a little reduction in talent costs. Some people are making a lot of money. they're probably being paid over where their skill level or their experience level is. That doesn't mean they're bad people. They had an opportunity, right? But this could start to correct it. There's an article that people read that I thought was really good, and it's titled "A Big Reset in 2023 After Big Tech's Mass Layoffs, Job Candidates Face Intense Competition." We'll link that up in the comments. Now, one of the biggest questions and the weirdest things that we had not seen before was retainer clients canceling. Now, at the beginning of the pandemic, it feels a lot like that's what's going on now, where clients slowed down, they weren't sure what they were going to do. And like I said, then eventually they realized they had to stay in business, they had to have websites, they had to have web apps, they had to update products that they had. But retainers kind of stayed. That wasn't really a problem. Even in the financial crisis in 2008, retainers still seemed, they might not renew, but they weren't canceling. So why are they canceling now? Well, 68% of the shops on the call said they had experienced retainer clients either canceling or not renewing. These clients are restructuring internally. That's another thing that we've heard. So where they were a hub and spoke model before, and they had 4 or 5 departments, with each of those departments possibly having their own digital agency, now they're coming to a centralized model. In that centralized model, there's probably one person managing it. So instead of one person managing 4 or 5 shops, they're going to have their own shop, right? It could be that you don't know the new person, and so you're not getting invited to the party. It could be you do know the new person, and you're getting all of the work now. We did have a couple of people on the call who said they had really gotten more work from existing clients. Now, as clients constrict their internal leadership teams, they're going to be looking to go back to an agency of record. Now, maybe they're not going to call it that, but they're going to want one shop to handle everything, and if they give us more work to do, they're going to expect it to cost a little bit less overall. So I'll give you a bigger pie. You take a smaller piece. But you know what? It's going to be more than it was before. So we're seeing that happen. Clients are also having budget cuts. That's obviously a big part of it. And some clients are actually building internal teams. Now, this is an ebb and flow I've talked about before over the past 20 years. Again, you see that? You see that in the beard? Yeah, baby. 20 years, baby. It's been longer than that, but we'll just keep it at 20 for now. They have had a history of ebbing and flowing, okay? Clients hire, they bring people in-house. That in-house team does stuff, but then the clients don't keep them educated. And eventually there's a new technology or a new process or a new concept that internal team doesn't know. And then the client goes, well, this is important. We need to hire an agency who understands, who stays on top of this. And those internal teams get frustrated and go, I'm out of here. And what do? They go off and they spin up shops. So that's part of this as well. Could be that as these clients are looking to re-go internal, in-house, build their own teams, it could be that that's causing some people to lose this work. One larger shop reported that 21% of their lost clients in 2021, I didn't want to just say in 21 like it's a store, right? No, in 2021, this larger shop said 21% of their lost clients moved to an agency of record or said they were leaving as part of an agency consolidation. So a lot of shops were working with a client, and now it's coming down to one or maybe a couple. Any trends that they're seeing in the clients or prospects that are canceling? Now, again, this is 28 folks, but this was kind of interesting. Tech-oriented clients, right? Including SaaS companies. This makes sense because they were some of the ones that hired the most, that got maybe a little bit in over their heads, and now they're slowing everything down right now. Healthcare and financial services. So tech-oriented clients, healthcare and financial services seem to be more likely to pull back, cancel, put on hold projects that are going on. Smaller prospects, say less than 250 million in annual recurring revenue, are saying no more. Mid-tier seem to be okay. Maybe they're slowing down a little. And then your big clients, people who are dealing with these massive billion dollar companies, they seem to be okay too. Maybe that's just for now. They are going through these layoffs. Maybe there's going to be other stuff that happens there. So here's the big one. Here's the big stuff. And before we do that, you know what? I want to thank our friends at Parallax. I know. I just stopped right in the middle to thank somebody. But if you're running your shop and you need help with understanding how to manage your staffing and how to plan out what's going to happen, if you need something to help you with those back office operations, take a look at Parallax. Ding. Okay, now what are we doing to combat the slowdown? This is the most important part, right? First, reposition your value as being a mandatory need. A lot of times we talk about how we can make things better. This isn't about fear-mongering. This isn't about positioning things as like, you will go out of business without us. But it is about saying, hey, if you want to make more money, if you want to improve your bottom line, we know how to do that. We know how to make it so that your company, your service, your product is going to be easier to find, is going to be easier to use, is going to be more palatable based on the cost. Whatever it is, we need to show that we are not a nice to have, we are a mandatory need in their business. So tighten up that positioning. Initiate the conversations with your retainer clients. Don't sit there and worry. Pick up the phone. If you're in the same town, ask them if they can have a cup of coffee and just say, hey, how are you doing?
How you doing?
I know we've been working together for a while. I know we've got the retainer going. We just want to make sure everything's good because we have a lot of work that we're ready to do. And if you need to slow down or you're having some sort of a challenge, just let us know. We can work through it. As opposed to them having that conversation by themselves and coming back and saying, we're just cutting it. You'll have that opportunity. Another really big thing that people are doing, they're being flexible with their existing clients. This could mean making billing procedures easier for them. Maybe you bill monthly now, but you spread it out over a longer term. Maybe you bill them up front, but you give them a percentage off. Figure they're looking at a long game. We're looking at a long game. We just have to survive this short time period to get there. So if they want to front load some stuff, but they know it's going to help out, let's do that, right? Make opportunities for the conversation so that you can figure things out together. That's super important. Another one is reduce the number of services that you're offering. We all offer services. Some we think of as loss leaders. Sometimes we think we're offering something and it'll be great. Might not make as much money on it. We'll really make all our money over here. Well, as much as you can, stop doing the stuff that's not as profitable and move to the stuff that's really making the money. That's super important. And if you reduce the number of service offerings, it's like Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen. What? You can't make all this great? Shh! And then you rip the menu in half. Do that with your services. Take a look and just focus on the stuff you're great at. Specialize, right? Optimize wherever you can, obviously, in terms of process and tightening your budgets and all that stuff. We did that after the pandemic. We had all that time. We all rebuilt our shops. We rebuilt the way we did stuff. Take a look at it again. See if there's other opportunities there. But one of the biggest things you can do, I firmly believe, is to become a repository of your client's institutional knowledge. Because the more you know about the way things work internally, the more you know about their product or their service, the more you know about the structure of their organization and how you get things done, the more valuable you are to them, especially as things are getting uprooted in their world. As things start to get shaky and people are leaving and people are being let go, there's a lot of knowledge that goes with that. So while they're dealing with that internal layoffs and turmoil, you can be a stability for them. You can help them make it through. So that, my friends, is what happened in our What the Actual Fuck call last week. I hope you're doing well. We'll see you next time.